with why don't I do more? I get like everything Stan says is so funny because like I'm like everything Stan says, I'm like, listen, I take it in, I watch his videos. I'm such a product of all of this. And everybody asks, why don't I do more? The answer is, I don't do more because I want to stay in my lane. I just want to stay, I like doing one thing really, really well, really, really effective, right? So the question is, what's something I would have done different? Everybody asks me why I don't do more. And I ask the question back, why do you want to do more? Like, focus. Like Stan said, if you're the best guy at what you do, you can charge a premium. Nobody's paying premiums for 4s and 5s. You only pay a premium for 9s and 10s. So while you guys are busy being helter-skelter and I'm the jack of all trades, I'm not that guy. I'm doing mowing. I'm not the best mowing, but McDonald's isn't the best cheeseburger. I just do a lot of mowing, McDonald's does a lot of cheeseburgers. Okay? So you gotta figure out what you're good at. Hyper-focus. Don't focus, hyper-focus. If you're the retaining wall guy, make the best day retaining walls in town. You're gonna make $500,000 doing it, right? So that's my answer. Hopefully that helps out. That's something I want to do different, not expand. I'm glad I did.
For sure, and it's also easier to start adding on. If you do, like, if you want to go laser focused, it's always easier to become an expert on one thing, and then you can grow from there. If you want to add on a couple additional things, rather than start off, I mean, we all have to kind of dabble in a little bit if we don't really know what we want to do in the beginning, but we really need to hone that in as quickly as possible to Brian's point and stick with that. And then as we establish ourselves and we get all the business stuff down pat, then we can start growing from there and add on additional things that way. So that's just my little take there.
Good question, brother. Good question.
Yeah, I mean, to piggyback on that, I'm the prime example of what you just said. So when I started my business, I was everywhere. You know, we had big stuff, we had small stuff, we had commercial, we had residential. And some of you guys know the story, but this year, we scaled the business down, we focused on one thing. Our ideal client, we wanted small residential. That's all we focus on now. If it's over, if the property's too big for us, we don't even look at it. If it's past this street, if it's in this city, we don't even look at it. And it's just been a tremendous help to us, to scale everything down, figure out what you're doing, and like Brian said, be the best at what you're doing. Instead of having your fingers in all these different things, be good at that one thing, and then you can move on. If you want. If you want to.
Right. Thanks, guys.
Can I add to that?
Yeah.
I remember when my wife and I lived in this tiny little one-bedroom apartment, and we had to get the hell out of there. It was closing in on us, and we were extremely claustrophobic, and we didn't have our credit score and a down payment ready yet to purchase a home. The housing prices kept going up, and we moved into a nice condo that we rented. And I remember the day we went all around looking. Oh, you want the camera? Oh yeah, she's supposed to take me. Thank you, honey, I love you. It was my wife, Ashley, helping me. We went and looked at this nice condo. It was perfect. And there was a little office. There was a basement space. I had a garage, so I didn't have to rent out a storage unit anymore to put my landscaping tools in. And it was more than double what our apartment was. This is what I would do different, right? I'm like, this is perfect. It's logical. We pull back up. We're about to sign the lease. We pull back up at our tiny apartment, and I go into a complete panic attack, and I close down because I was afraid we couldn't afford it. And I was like, we can't do this. We can't do this. We can't do this. We got to stay in the apartment. We got to stay in the apartment. And then my wife grabbed my hand and she said, let's just do this. Let's do it. Let's do it. We have to take this leap of faith. And I totally relied on her in that moment, trusted her, and we went and signed all the paperwork, put the down payment, moved into the nice condo, and then all of a sudden, my back was against the wall, and I didn't have a choice but to start raising the prices. And I had the excuse in my head that the clients aren't going to pay. I'm going to lose all the clients. They're not going to pay. Oh my God, we're going to lose everything. That's how I think. Is this common at all? Does anybody think of stuff like this? Okay. My back was against the wall, and this soldier came out, and I started raising the prices, and I lost a few clients, and oh my God, 80% of my clients, they were fine with the new price increase. And I said, okay, maybe I'll split test this thing. I'll only raise the prices on the new clients, but I'll keep the old clients grandfathered in and I'll just raise it a little bit, right? I was scared. But it worked. My income went up like 30% that year because my mindset had changed, because my back was against the wall and I didn't have a choice. And it worked. Then when we moved into our new home 4.5 months ago, I was scared. On the morning of signing the papers for the mortgage, I had another panic attack. I was like, oh my God, how are we gonna afford this, right? And then my back was against the wall. And what did I do? My income went up another 30%. And here's what I never knew. I'm charging 4 times the amount of when I first started in the same damn neighborhoods. Same neighborhoods. Going from the broke kid that these clients, I felt like they were taking advantage of me, and some of them were. They're conscious. When you first start your business, people aren't dumb. They can see exactly where you're at, who they're hiring, and if they can get a deal. And so you get in where you fit in. And so if I could go back, what I would have done differently is just upgraded the mindset and the identity and my self-worth faster, and would have got out of that stupid apartment a lot faster. So that's what I'm saying, is if other people can do it, you can do it. And that's it.
Thank you, Keith.
Yeah, this is a really good question. Actually, like, I think we would all say we wouldn't do anything different because this is what brought us here. And I do believe that. I believe everything happens. You learn from all the experiences. I think Top Notch's story really hits home with me because in this industry, either people are really willing to help and like want to grab your hand and make you do what they do because, they're the kings at it, I guess. Or people just shun you away and don't want to talk and they don't want you to take a piece of their pie, which is why I think it's awesome that everybody up here shares their stories and is open and willing to help and share the information. So to say what I would do different was stay in my lane, like Brian said. Everybody always tells you, what's next? What are you doing next? How many crews you adding? Are you going to go hardscaping, retaining walls? Like, there's so many services that you can offer. For me at least, with my small business, I can't offer them all. And at one point in time, I've tried to offer them all, and it's never worked out. So slow and steady sometimes wins the race. There's times to go fast, there's times to go slow. But be yourself and stay in your lane, I think, is good advice, because I think we've all heard Brian Top Notch's story about, sometimes growing too fast, isn't the way to go, right?
So, yeah, one thing I want to add on that is, when you kind of simplify everything, like for me, I simplified small residential, that's all I want to do. So now it makes bidding easier. It makes everything in my company easier now, because all I'm dealing with is one type of customer. Bidding is so easy now. I don't even go look at the property anymore half the time. I just don't. It's just so easy. And when you can just simplify everything, my life has been so much easier this year. And John Pajak, I want to give him a round of applause. This guy right here. So, just a quick little story. Earlier this year, in the spring, he sat on the phone with me for 2 hours and helped me with finding my numbers in my business and all this type of stuff, and it's really helped me out this year, so thank you for that.
Thank you, guys. So, real quick, a show of hands, how many more people have questions? All right, it's time for rapid fire hour here. Rapid hour, 15 minutes. Let's fire them off.
My name is Gerard with Upstate Landscapers. I watch all your videos, and you guys talk about time management. I just want to know, how do you have time? I think I always want to know how you have time to make YouTube videos. Do you pay somebody, or do you do them yourself?
Thank you. So I'll jump in.
I don't do anything YouTube until like literally after 10 p.m. And these bags of these guys, I burn them. I haven't slept in 4 years. Straight up.
I'm the same way. Once the kids go to bed, once the wife goes to bed, that's when I get to edit.
I'll be honest with you, man. Like, I don't know how Michigan State's doing. I don't know how Michigan's doing. They're not doing well anyway. But anyway, I don't know how Michigan State's doing. I don't know what baseball teams in the MLB. I have no idea. I've been growing my life. I've been growing my YouTube channel. I'm growing my income. I mean, dude, how many people have to like see you're wearing a jersey with the other dude's name on the back of it? Why aren't you wearing your name on the back of your own jersey? Like, you guys think it's all sunshine and rainbows, and now some of you are really intense. I'm actually super intense behind the scenes. I'm like standing in public, that's me behind the scenes, okay? Standing is crazy, you know? Sensational, that's all. But listen, I want to take care of my wife. I want to take care of my mom. That's my number one priority. My God, like, let's start getting real here. The reason I want to make money is to take care of a lot of wrongs. I've been broke and poor for 30 freaking years. We didn't grow up with a dime. So when someone leaves a comment, nice truck mommy and daddy bought you.
Ooh.
I will sucker punch you. Like, I know it's a different Ryan Claw maintenance that you're hearing right now, but this is how I think. Now I have fun with it. I troll back. People troll me. I troll back. We have fun with it. You know what I mean? But man, I'm trying to grow up. I get around Stan. Not Stan. How do you make a YouTube video? Stan, how do I be a man? How do I take care of my family? This stuff is baked into my videos. It's important. It's important.
Well, one of the things I think is important was, I want to go back, one question back to, you know, what would you do different? And I want to concentrate a little bit on hyper-focusing on efficiency is one thing that we've brought up. But you've got to become, I'm going to talk more about hardscaping, okay? So you've got to become the jack of all trades and master of two, okay? So because you've got to have two things that you're really clear and focused on, two things that you will dominate your market on, the two things that you would have your absolute largest profit margins on, right? I'm going to talk from my level of experience. In 2008, we were doing millions of dollars a year, 20 guys out doing commercial retaining walls, doing commercial work, and I wasn't making any money. And so in 2008, I said, I'm cutting my business by 50%. I sat down with my core group of guys and I said, I'm keeping you guys and we're going to end up letting all of these other guys go. We're going to lighten up our load, and I had no clue what was going to happen. In 2009, when everybody was going broke, businesses were going under, I went and dropped my business by 50%, but my profit margins stayed the same as the year before. And this is what blew my mind. You guys, I'm doing half of the work, and I just made the same amount of money. I got a much smaller bullseye on my back, because every time you grow to the next level, new devil, you guys, right? Next level, new devil. You're going to have people that want a piece of your pie, no matter what happens, right? And so I shrank, and I'm like, whoa, my life is way easier, because now I'm concentrating on my two niches, which are making me the most money. Now, jack of all